And yes, I have coffee. Peace and blessings, family. What's up with all the daydreamers out there? Please live it. Don't sleep with this thing. So our last video, our last episode, we actually was talking about my mistakes when it came to my personal finances. And we're going to get to the mistakes I made with my business finances. But we talked about my mistakes with my personal finances. And in that video, I kind of got to talking about creating a budget and building a budget and how to do it. And I mean, that video was long, and so I get it. You might not want to go back and look at that. So with this video, I wanted to do kind of like a follow-up to that video. So this is kind of like your side note, your appendix, I think that's what they call it in the back of the book. Like your study guide, your quick reference, whatever you want to call it, right? And this is going to be 6 quick tips on creating your budget. Again, I'm not a financial guru, but these things are helping me out. If you are seeking extra financial information, seek an expert that is actually versed in this. And also, I still recommend that you look up Dave Ramsey, because some of the things that I am going to be saying in this thing, I actually picked up from him, and they actually do work. So this is 6 quick tips on how to create your budget. Let's do what we do. That was lame. Anyways, the first thing you want to do, let's talk about the materials you need. This is not part of the 6 quick tips, but let's talk about the material you need. Piece of paper and a pen and your financial information. That's it. Doesn't have to be all beautiful and elaborate. To give you an idea on what I do, I actually have an Excel spreadsheet that is out that I got that does the calculations for me with some formulas. Even that's not complicated, but I have an Excel spreadsheet that gives me an understanding of the whole month broken down by pay period. So I have the month planned out, but then I have it broken down by pay period on which bills are going to get paid for each paycheck I get. I got me a little process. It took me a minute to get there, but the process I have works. It's going to be the same for you. But for right now, just get you a pencil and a piece of paper and your financial information, and sit your behind down at your kitchen table with a delicious cup of pour over coffee. Why it sound like that's like a sponsorship? It's not a sponsorship, but I'm just saying, pour over coffee is delicious. They don't have to sponsor, and it's not like it's a company. Okay, I'm rambling. Let's get it. Okay, so you got your material, you're sitting down, you're ready to do your finances. So what is the first thing that you need to do? First of all, let's go ahead and say this. You got to start making your budget prior to the month beginning. My suggestion is pick the 15th of every month, where you'll make out your budget for the month to come. Why is this so important, guys? Well, it gives you time and space to actually create the budget and make the necessary adjustments as you get closer to that month. So this is the month of June. On the 15th, sit down and start creating your budget. As time progresses, you would adjust the budget to what July is looking at. A budget is nothing more than a forecast of what the next month holds. That's all it is. It gives you a little bit of control on what's to come. Matter of fact, a lot of control on what's to come, okay? So sit down, go ahead. On the 15th of this month, you want to sit down. Heck, you could do it right now while you're watching this video. Sit down right now and write out your budget. Create that budget, guys, prior to July. So you're creating for July, and you can make adjustments as time goes on, especially with some of us with irregular income. As your income kind of does what it does, you can make the adjustments. You're looking at next month and certain things that begin to happen that might be able to be paid or dealt with next month that have popped up. Hey, you can make those adjustments as you get closer to the month of July, guys. So it just gives you a window of opportunity to make proper planning. So prior to the month beginning, sit down and you're gonna make this budget. So the next thing that you're gonna do, guys, is you're gonna sit down and write down all of your expenses. If you're married, this includes both you and your spouse. You're gonna sit down and write all those things out, account for their income, your income, all into one pot, okay? All into one pot. If you are making money from a main job and main job only, simple. If you're making money from a main job, but you also got a side hustle, you got a second job, or you got little things that you're making a little bit of money off your hobbies or something like that. Any income brought in, you plan on helping somebody move, they're going to use your truck and they're willing to pay you for using your truck. You write that down as income that is supposed to be coming in. Then you got to plan for every dollar that comes into the house, plan it so that you can give it a purpose. So you want to write down all your income. And again, that is all your income. Quick tip number three, write down all of your expenses, guys. So I can't tell you the amount of times when I've started doing this budget, I didn't account for all of my expenses. I just thought looking at it from the mortgage to the utilities, gas in the car insurance, the streaming services I had, all of the stuff, and I was good. Anything that was just the regular monthly stuff, and I was good. And then I have this huge category called leftover. Well, it wasn't always huge, but this category, not really a category. You know how after we pay all our main bills, or what we call our main bills, and we underneath that we got like some amount of dollar left. That's that leftover, and we like, oh snap, ballerific for about 3 days. No, it's not the case. So let me give you some quick tidbits underneath that. What we don't realize is there's two categories to our expenses. You have a regular expense and you have irregular expenses. Regular expenses, irregular expenses. What are your regular expenses? Your regular expenses are things like your mortgage, your utility bills such as light bill, gas bill, water bill, the gas that you put in your car insurance, any streaming services that you have that come out monthly, your cable service, your internet service, your phone, these things that are regularly billed to you on a month. If you're paying off debt, these things are regular. They come every month. They will not change. The cost of probably your electricity and water fluctuate, but you're getting billed every month for it. That's regular income. I keep wanting to say income. That's regular expenses. Your irregular expenses, those are different because those are not consistent every month, but they're going to come along. So you have an irregular where it's like, okay, my tag needs to be paid. Matter of fact, that's coming up. My tag, you got to renew your license. Car maintenance such as oil change, tune-up, tire rotation, and stuff like that. All these things are irregular. They don't come every month. I hope that makes sense. They don't come every month, but you know they're coming. Birthday, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you even got vacation that you plan. All these things are coming, just not every month, but you have to account for them as you see fit, okay? Then you have irregular income that is like life happens irregular. Like this might not be, again, like I said, it's not necessarily an emergency that you got to dip into an emergency fund pot that you should be creating, but it pops up where you got to plan accordingly. You didn't really plan for somebody to break their glasses, but that's what children do. They break their glasses. And so now you have to figure out how you're going to shift money around and make it work, right? Without hopefully dipping into your emergency saving fund. Okay. All right. So that's number 3. Write down all your expenses, both regular and irregular. Plan for what to possibly come. All right. Quick tidbit number 4 is you want to balance for 0 using the equation I minus E equals Z. Income minus expenses equals Z. All right. You want to take your expenses and subtract them from your income, and you want to get the balance of 0. It's called balancing for 0. It's called a zero-based budget, zero balance budget. If it's not 0, you either got too much expenses in comparison to your income and you got to make some cuts, or you got too much income in comparison to what you're planning for. So if you don't have, so look at it like this. If you got too much expenses, you got to go back and cut some stuff, okay? And be mindful, you're going to probably have to go back and cut some stuff. I had to do it when I first started doing my budget. I had to go back and actually cut some stuff, all right? And then once I got on track, it's something I noticed, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. Or you might be the ones that find out that you have actually more income than you really actually thought. You just mismanaged it. But that doesn't mean that surplus or that leftover is to be just, oh my goodness, we can go ball out. No, give it a plan, give it a purpose, give it a reason. Think on what's coming, what needs to be done, how things need to be taken care of. Think on those things before you go out there and just spend out that money. So again, balance your budget for 0. I minus E equals 0. Income minus your expenses should equal 0. The 5th quick tip goes like this. You're going to adjust, 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 and adjust, and adjust. because 9 times out of 10, if this is your first time or even 50th time doing it, you're not going to get it right. You're going to have to consistently continue to make adjustments. And that's even after you finally got a handle on it. As life progresses, life changes. So you have to continue to adjust your budget. Your budget is always a work in progress, because as your family changes, the children grow up, if you're might start dating, then you might want to get married, then you might want to have kids, then you got to make sure that they're good. All these different aspects of things, and your hobbies change, your taste in life of what you like to do changes. So if those things are changing, then your budget has to be adjusted with it. So not only do you need to adjust according to what's going on, but you're going to have to adjust according to your life and what's occurring and what's happening there and stuff like that. Okay. Your eating habits might have to change because of your health. All these different things come up. So you're going to adjust and then adjust and adjust and adjust. You never stop adjusting. Number 6, quick tip number 6, you want to do a budget check up. You want to check up on your budget throughout the month. Don't just make the budget, set it, and then you do like those infomercials say, set it and forget it. No, you have to constantly look at it, check on it, man. As you pay out money, as you spend money, go back and look at it and make sure that everything is still on track, guys. So don't just make the budget and say, okay, I'm good, I'm Gucci, spend, spend, spend. And the next thing you know, you dipped into something that you didn't intend to dip into because you wasn't paying attention. What I do is, again, I just this morning and I did my budget, right? Not did my budget, but I paid out my bills that I needed to pay out. I paid out my expenses, right? And as I paid them off, I put a check mark next to the ones that have been paid, just not cleared, crossed out the ones that came on out and everything like that. That indicates whether I'm waiting or whether it's already done. But what I typically do, so I have a category called pocket money. That pocket money gets shifted over into another column. And anything I spend, I keep track of that. So I got 2 different options, right, of dealing with my pocket money. Either I leave it in the bank and I manage it by calculating what I'm spending and making sure I'm staying on track with that. But typically I like to pull that money out in cash. Okay. Number 1, it slows me down from spending because I see the money going away. Number 1. Number 2, it keeps what I might mess up on totally away from what's being paid for like bills, for my gas and all of this stuff, for my car and all of things like that. Those things right there that are needed. So it's because the pocket money that is not needed, but it's for spending throughout the month. So I have a little money throughout the month to spend and everything like that. And I like to have pocket money. So I have a category for pocket money because I tend to like to make a stop somewhere and look around, and I might want to purchase something. And I don't want to have to feel like I'm making a sacrifice of pulling from the essentials for a non-essential. Does that make sense? So you want to check up, but I always still check up. I sit down every week and I look at my account, I look at my budget and make sure that I'm still on track. I'm still right there, right? So that's 6 quick tips. I think it was really probably about 7, 8, 9, or 10, but we're going to say it was 6 quick tips, man, for this video, man, on when dealing with your budget, how to make it and stuff like that. And it really was how to maintain it, man, because at the end of the day, you can sit down, you can write out all you want. But if you are not disciplining yourself to maintain that budget and follow it and maintain it, then it's going to fail. I want you to always remember, we think finances is numbers. It's really truly not numbers. It's probably 10% numbers, guys, 90% how you deal with your behavior. This scripture always will come to mind when it comes to dealing with our money. I know it's a weird scripture to use for this, but I just want you to think about it. The flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. The flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing, guys. So at the end of the day, man, when you go crazy with your budget, treat it like you're succumbing to just the desires of your flesh, the temptation of your flesh. But when you manage your money and you really actually follow a budget, then you know that you're strong in spirit. So do you want to be weak in the flesh, or do you want to be strong in the spirit? But again, with that being said, manage your money, guys. Don't let it manage you, man. Be strong in spirit, not weak in the flesh. Much love and respect. Peace. Man, I had bars. Peace.